soles of the feet, just literally just shake the arms off. This is mini vibrations through your body, really, really healthy for you. Circulating some blood flow, and drop into those feet onto those heels. As you inhale, nice tall reach up above the head. And as you exhale, bringing those arms to your side, chin into chest, roll through your spine down towards the floor. Before rolling yourself back up, vertebra by vertebra, back up to standing. Inhaling, nice and tall reach. Arms back down to your side. We've got 3 more of these, so don't rush them. Work through your spine. Allow that spine to roll vertebra by vertebra. Rolling yourself back up, vertebra by vertebra, to standing. Little reach. Twice more as they bring the arms to your side. Let the weight of the hands actually drop. Let those shoulders roll forward. Let the day drop out of the fingertips and roll yourself back up, vertebra by vertebra, to standing. That's our 3rd roll down already. We want to let go of this day, let go of this tension, and as we roll down through that spine, you might get the odd little clunk, you might get the odd little click. Just soften the knees completely and walk the legs out side to side. In these sessions, in these gliding sessions, there's a lot of motion, there's a lot of movement in a posture. As you have a little bend in the knees, just allow the whole back body to hang, to softly let go of everything. As you take that interlock of the hands around the elbows, just rolling side to side. So let the weight of the head, when the weight of the elbows roll down around the right shin, back in through center, around to the left. Keep a big bend in your knees, just to allow the sensation not to dip too deep into a stretch just yet. As you visit our 3rd roll down the right shin and then back over to the left, just want you to come back into neutral, slide the hands up your shins, visit a nice flat back, nice neutral spine. Exhaling as you come into a forward fold. Inhale, sliding the hands up the shins again. Reach the bum back, reach tall through the crown. And relax the belly back into a forward fold, nice and relaxed. Sliding the hands up the shins for your flat back. Rolling the shoulders back. And allow them to roll forward again as you come back down. Last one, slide those hands up the shins, nice flat back. Before bringing both hands to the floor, stepping that right leg all the way back. As we gently rock yourself forward and back, 3, 4 times, just gliding backwards into the back toes, just reaching nice and long through the chest. Let that knee drift ahead of the toes. It's completely fine, it's completely safe to do so. Before dropping the knee back down towards the floor, coming up nice and tall through those fingertips, before dipping the hands down towards the floor. A little dip of the chest. We love this one for the hips. Press ourselves back up and out of it. Nice tall reach, maybe sink the hips a little deeper. And back down towards the floor as you hinge at those elbows. One more time, pressing yourself up and out of it. With each visit to the pose, you might feel a little smoother, you might feel a little looser as we dip back down towards the floor. While we're here, we're just going to walk that left foot out to the side, about 45 degrees or so. And we're just going to rock the body over towards that left heel and walk back into center. As you exhale, walk the hands over to that left heel. And as you inhale, gently rock out of it. Exhale, shift the weight of the rib cage towards the knee. And back out of it. Scooting that left leg out to the side again. We've done this once before. And in this series, as you dip the bottom back towards the heels and press briefly back up out of it. Soften the knees. As you exhale, rock the bottom back, just gently gliding back towards your heels. Inhale, rock out of it. This is really nice, this one. I'd always encourage you to visit this one anytime after any sort of physical exercise. The hips just love just relaxing through the inner groins. As you exhale, finally sending that bottom back. Keep the weight through the hands always, especially early in the sequence, before walking yourself all the way forward again. Step that left leg quite far forward, so ahead of the hands this time. Couple of inches of that heel ahead of the hands, and then as you exhale, gently walk the hands back towards the knee. Keep the bum reaching towards the ceiling. Inhale, little bend as you rock forward, and exhale as you gently rock the bum up and back. Inhale, little glide forward. Everybody should be able to reach their 7 out of 10 feeling through the back of the hamstring here as you arch the bum up towards the ceiling. Last little rock forward out of the stretch. And exhale as you reach the bum up and back, bringing those toes towards the chin. Keep a slight soft knee in this leading leg. Remember, that's how we kind of know it's the muscles that we're trying to soften, the belly of the muscles. And then just have a little rotation through the thighs, through the toes, side to side, just briefly rolling through that hip socket. Feeling a slightly different sensation, maybe through that outer hip a little bit. Before rocking yourself forward and curling the back toes under, stepping the back leg forward and having a little walk out through those legs again. One leg just gently straightening a little more than the other. As you just dynamically loosen off the back of the legs. Before hands to the mat, stepping that left leg all the way back, and again, just rocking yourself forward and back, gliding through those hips. As you shift the weight of your hips all the way back, and then reach the chest and the hips all the way forward. As you reach back, it's for you to explore your body and your hips. So as I give some guide and some signals here, if you hear some requests from your body, listen into them. As you come up nice and tall through the fingertips, before dipping those hands inside the leg and a little bit of a dip towards the floor. It's really important to loosen off these hips before we enter anything grander. As we come up nice and tall through the hips, you might sink down towards the heel. And as we drop the chest towards the floor, you might send the knee away from the body a little. Might even rock side to side briefly. As you press up for your third and final hip flexor glide, great for cyclists, great for runners. And back down towards the floor, final little dip towards the deck. Walking that foot out towards the side, 45 degrees or so, and then start to drift the right rib cage over towards the right knee and back into center. It's just a gentle rock as you push through the hands and you walk the hands over to the right foot and back up out of it. Last one, walking those hands over to the right foot and a gentle sink towards the heels. As you come back into center, walking that right foot out to the outside of the left shin. Just as we did the other side, exhaling as you send the bum back towards the heels. It might not be far as you rock out of it on the inhale and exhale back into it. The hands or forearms to the floor, always good early doors. Bend at the knee as you rock out of it, and as you exhale, rock back into it. Inhaling as you rock out of it, and exhaling as you rock back into it. As you walk the hands forward and you step that right leg back to the top end of your mat, just walk it a couple of inches ahead of the hands. And that'll mean as you rock back, the hips stay nicely over the knees as you draw those toes towards your chin. Inhale, little glide, little bend coming out of the stretch. Really important on your exhales to come back into the stretch. Inhale, little rock out of it. And feel the difference of our third, fourth glide to that very first time you dipped into the back of the hamstring. We'll do it one more time, a little reach forward and exhaling back into it. As you take both hands to the mat and you step yourself to the top end of the mat, I want you to roll yourself up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Nice tall reach, shift all that weight into the left leg. Wrap that right foot onto the top of the left knee. Little bit of balance, a little bit of stability needed here. Once you've found that balance and that stability, just want you to exhale as you sink the bottom down towards the heels. Inhale, press yourself back up out of it. Exhale, bum down towards the heels. Hands in prayer or just resting on your collarbone as you come back out of it. Twice more. A little bit of strength in the left and a nice little dip into that outer hip on the right. Press yourself back out of it. Last one, active stretch, stretch through motion, sinking down towards the floor. Wherever you visit your 7 out of 10, releasing the feet, little shake off. Spread the toes of the right foot, get a nice firm bottom base. Strong right bottom as you wrap that left foot into a figure 4 shape on the right knee. You can always hold on to the shin if you feel like it's shifting away. As you exhale, sending the bum down towards the heels, and inhale, come back up out of it. Exhaling as you dip, maybe a little deeper, and inhale, briefly come up out of it. Exhaling as you sink, third or fourth rep, you'll see a considerable difference as you come back up out of it. Finally, dipping down, exploring your current range of motion. Still not chasing the stretch. Watch how as the session goes by, the body completely responds. As you step that leg all the way out to the side, both heels facing the side of the mat. As you soften the knees, just want to invite you to hinge at the hips, holding onto the thighs or the shins. I'll show you from the side angle. You'll see I've always got a micro bend in the legs. Really healthy, rather than hyperextending and letting the joints do the work. I want you to encourage you to keep that micro bend in the knees. Then whether the hands are to your thighs or the shins, just want you to tuck the pelvis under as you inhale and bend the knees. And as you exhale, start to straighten the legs a little and arch the bum up towards the ceiling. And inhale, a little bend at the knees, almost pelvis neutral. Exhale, arch the bum up towards the ceiling as you straighten the legs. That's the vital bit. Inhale, little bend at the knees. Exhale, bum towards the ceiling, arching up. Last one, little bend at the knees, and exhale, bum towards the ceiling. Slightly different sensations as we've tended to loosen off. We spent this whole opening sequence calming the inner groins, the front of the hips, the outer hips, and now's a chance to really visit some warrior twos later on in the session. As we start to shift the weight over to that left foot, just walk the hands there for now. And come back into center before walking over to the right. You know where this is going? It's so nice, this feeling. As you spend the weight of your hands down towards that left foot, little hinge at the ankles and the knees, back through neutral. Generally exhaling as you might visit down towards the right. We're going through it 3 more times each side, so don't force that dip down into spider lunge just yet. Just allow the groins to gently start to come. As you walk the hands through the middle, exhaling as you roll on the balls of your feet down towards the heels. Coming back through center, really now start to bend at the toes, bend at the balls of your feet, the ankles and the knees. As you rock back forward for our last 3, dipping down to that right side. Last one over at the left, you either keep the weight through your hands, or if you wish, allow yourself to come into a settled balance with the arms away from the floor. Either way, your ultimate aim is for that inner groin to be as relaxed as possible. So I really like hands to the mat because it just allows you to let go of the inner groins. And that's the main purpose through this spider lunge. Then as you soften that knee, walking the hands through the middle, over to the other side and dipping back down into the right hand side. Soften the left knee, roll through the balls of the feet and gently scoot that left foot an inch or 2 closer to the right. The back foot will be angled in slightly. So by that I mean the heel will be closer to the back end of the mat than the toes. Almost 45 degrees or so. Then with a soft bend in this right knee, hinge yourself up into standing. You'll notice your right hip is probably further forward to the mat than the left. I want you to try draw the right hip back, square the hips off. Then on your next exhale, gently fold at the hips, send the bum up towards the ceiling. And inhale, come up out of it. As you exhale, bum reaches up diagonally backwards. Don't worry about how far forward you fold just yet. Inhale, come out of the stretch. Third time, as you exhale and fold, reach the bum up and back. Last one. Exhaling as you visit your 7 out of 10. Everybody will be completely different here. Some of us will be down polishing our toes. Some of us will be up quite far high out of it. It's more about that arch of the bum up towards the ceiling. If you need the hands to the thigh, definitely keep a soft bend in that right knee. And you'll notice as you stay here for a few breaths, that 7 out of 10 will change. And you'll maybe be allowed and be offered the opportunity to come into a slightly deeper fold over that right leg. Never lose the emphasis of the arch of the bum back up towards the ceiling, or drawing that left hip forward towards the top end of your mat. Then softly release through the right leg, bringing the left leg forward and rolling yourself up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Roll those shoulders back and reach that chest a little taller, mini back bend if you wish. Before bringing those arms back down to your side, rolling through this juicy spine, so fixed usually in most sports. And then stepping the right leg back. The distance is, possibly about a yard or so. I'd say 3/4 of a leg length. And then as you hinge yourself up to standing, that back foot's angled in about 45 degrees. Right hip gently forward as you square the hips off. And then as you start to fold down towards the thighs, finding your 7 out of 10. Inhale, a little bend at the knee as you rock yourself forward. And exhale, rocking the bum up and back. Inhale, a little bend at the knee. The weight of the hands through the thigh, not the knee. As you exhale, bum back and up. Inhale, bend at the knee. And exhale, reaching that bum up and back towards the ceiling. Fourth glide out of the stretch, and exhale back into the stretch. And you'll soon know, you'll soon find if you dipped too far, you might get a little bit of shaking through the muscles somewhere, you might get a contraction through the thighs. You might possibly even find that you're holding your breath a little. And they're all just gentle clues that, okay, I might just need to gently come out of the stretch a little. And then on my next exhale, come back into it. It's a moment or two for you to observe any subtle changes through the back of the leg as you accumulate 3, 4, 5 breaths in the pose. Before bending at that knee, stepping the back leg forward and rolling yourself up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Nice tall reach. And exhaling for a swan dive this time as you reach the bottom back. Inhaling for your flat back. As you step back into our strong plank, our Tadasana position. Remember, shoulders over wrists and a strong push away from the floor. All our core work last week, draw the abs in, squeeze the bottom. And then drop the knees to the floor. And as you exhale, we're going to go from the lower thighs to the mid thighs, through to the upper thighs. Roll the shoulders back as you reach the chest through, rolling through your spine as you roll back down towards the floor. Exhaling as you squeeze the bum, reach the chest away from the floor, mini cobra. Inhale, back down towards the floor, relax the belly completely. Exhaling, squeeze the bum, lift the rib cage. Inhaling, as you slowly lower back down towards the floor, little wriggle through the hips. Exhaling, squeeze, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. Slowly lower back down to the ground. Soften the belly, soften the breath. Final one, squeeze the bottom, raise yourself up. Mini cobra. Both hands to the mat, knees to the mat. Draw the belly in as you press yourself up. Walk the knees away from each other and drop the belly between the thighs, bum back down towards your heels. Not hanging around here, walking both hands over to the right. Inhaling as you walk through center, exhaling over to the left. Twice more each side. As you inhale through the center, walking your hands over. As you exhale, getting a slightly deeper reach. Inhale through the middle. Exhale over to the left. Once more each side as you inhale, transition through the poses. Exhaling as you maybe visit a slightly deeper reach. Coming all the way back through with your inhales, your relaxed belly. Exhaling as you reach the armpits away from the knees. Back in to center, scooting the hands back towards those knees. Scoot those knees in together. Come up nice and tall through the spine. Stack the head over the ribs, over the waist. Exhaling as you drop yourself back. Another active stretch, a little bit of a strength now as you come back up out of it. As you exhale, that's where we drop back because we'll recruit the abs to support the spine as we drive back, nice and long. And inhale, relax the belly, calm yourself out of it. Exhaling, tall through the spine, drawing yourself back. Inhaling as you glide out of it. Remember, not perfect choreography. This is a guide for you to explore your body as you send the final lengthener back over the heels, never chasing anything too much, walking yourself forward, curling the toes under as you sit the bottom back in towards the heels. A little wriggle side to side. As you drift one sitting bone a little bit more onto the heels than the other. A little rock side to side through the rib cage. Before bringing that left foot alongside the right shin. One of my all-time favorites, this one, as you bring the hands alongside, just in front of the knees. This left foot sort of needs to be a little bit behind the knee. As we exhale, we're going to send the heel down towards the floor, but keep the weight of the body forward. Inhale, little rock out of it. As we exhale, heel towards the floor, but keep the weight forward, so the heel doesn't quite get there. Inhale, out of it, and exhale, back into it. Heel comes towards the ground, but it doesn't quite get there. Last glide, as you rock out of the stretch, and using the power of your exhales as you sink back down into the stretch. Heel towards the deck, never quite gets there because you're keeping the weight of your body forward. Hope that makes a bit of sense. Everything in yoga is kind of two-way, and this active gliding stretch is amazing for the underneath the calf belly, essentially. If you're cycling, if you enjoy your cycling, you'll notice that the calves get really strong, but there's not much ankling to it. If you're into your running, you utilize the soleus and the Achilles for that rebound impact a lot. If you're into your footy, you're practically on high heels all the time in the studs, so they shorten quite a lot. So this is an amazing stretch for that very lower limb, plus great for your feet. As you walk the hands forward and you step that left leg to the front of your mat, curl those back toes under, press yourself all the way up and out of it. Exhaling as you sink down towards the floor, inhaling as you press up out of it. Exhaling, sink, maybe reach the body up and over to the left. Inhale as you come back up out of it. Exhale, sink, apply a twist through the body if you wish. Inhale, up and out of it. Exhale, as we sink, maybe bringing the arms away from you too. Good stuff. If you're happy in this position, or you can drop the back knee to the floor. Here we go. Exhale, reach the chest towards the ceiling. Maybe take the gaze past the hand. Draw yourself back into neutral. Exhale as you reach the chest and the fingertips towards the sky. Inhale, back up out of it. Active stretching. As you exhale, back hand maybe touching towards the back thigh. Back up out of it. Last one. Exhaling as you reach before bringing both hands back to the mat, stepping that left leg back, drawing the abs in, allowing the knees to drop towards the floor. Try roll through your body, and as you roll through that mid to upper thigh, rolling the shoulders back. As you descend the hips towards the floor, keep the chest reaching forward. Roll like a wave through your body down towards the mat. Bringing the hands just out in front of you for Sphinx pose. Rolling the shoulders back, reaching the chest through. Squeeze the bottom. Calm the breath, calm the face. Before returning back down to the floor, hands alongside ribs, curling the toes under as you press yourself up and back, and scoot the right foot alongside the left shin, a little bit behind the knee. As you exhale, sinking that heel down towards the ground. Remember, it never really gets there because you're keeping your weight forward, rocking yourself out of it, and exhaling as you sink back down into it. Brilliant. This looks good. As you inhale, a little glide out of it, and exhaling as you sink back into it. I'm just going to switch legs so you can see the visual a bit better. Last glide. Inhale, gentle rock out of it, And then exhale, heel towards the floor, weight is forward. You can sit there for a bit, you can maybe bring the palms towards the floor with the fingertips facing towards you. Either way, that sensation you're looking for is a slight progress of your 7 out of 10 feeling through the very lower end of that limb. Before walking both hands to the top end of your mat, stepping the right leg to the top end of the mat, curling the back toes under, pressing yourself all the way up and out of it. I know it's a little bit of strength, but really it's a great stretch. As we exhale, it's a straight down drop. You're not drifting forward. Inhale, we're back up out of it. So these hip flexors get the chance to lengthen as you exhale. Maybe more so as you reach up and over to your right. Inhaling as you press up out of it. Exhaling, if you wish to add a twist, a slightly different sensation through that hip. Back up out of it. And then again, dipping down towards the floor, bringing the arms in at the same time if you wish. You can drop that back knee to the floor or stay hovered. As you exhale, reach that chest towards the ceiling. And back up out of it into your twist. Exhaling, gaze past the palm as you reach the fingertips towards the sky. Back up out of it. Twice more. Back hand towards the back thigh. Back up out of it. And here we go again. Last one. Maybe subtly bringing that left hip forward. Before bringing both hands back to the mat, stepping to the top end of your mat, and having a gentle walk out of the back of the legs. Quite intense, that hovered split squat rotation. So you're building a bit of strength, an active stretch, a lot of gliding. From here, rolling yourself up vertebra by vertebra to standing little reach. Before swan diving, all the roll downs if you wish, and you really like them. Inhaling for your flat back. Exhaling as we step all the way back again, strong plank. By all means, visit upward dog if you wish, or as you slowly lower the chest down towards the ground for seal's pose. So the hands just a little bit further out in front of you. Remember, the chest reaches through, squeeze the bum. It's a long back bend, not a compressed back bend. And then slowly lower yourself back down or press yourself back up into your down dog from your up dog. As you settle a little bit in down dog, we'll walk the heels out side to side. This generally, the walk out of the legs, is the classic ethos of gliding. So we're gently walking side to side and you'll feel the back of the feet, the back of those calves gently respond with each walk out. And that's the whole purpose throughout all these postures we're visiting. Once you've done a few walkouts, settle into your down dog. We're going to inhale and bend the knees. And then exhale, begin to straighten the legs a little. Try not to lose the focus in the spine, so just get to the point where we're not flexing through the spine by straightening the legs. So here we go. As we inhale, a little bend at the knees. As you exhale, push away from the mat as you send the heels towards the floor. Inhale, a little bend at the knees, should be quite out of the stretch. And as you exhale, begin to straighten towards your 7 out of 10 feeling. Inhaling, little bend at the knees. And exhaling, bum reaches up and back, strong press away from the floor. Shoulders getting a good workout here. Inhale, bend at the knees. And exhale, begin to straighten. Walking those hands back towards your feet. and rolling yourself up vertebra by vertebra to standing, shifting that weight into that left leg, big step forward with the right. Turn that back leg inwards slightly into our warrior two shape. As you exhale, dip down towards the ground, and inhale, come up out of it, maybe reverse warrior. Exhaling, as you sink a little deeper, heel to heel alignment, and inhale, you can rock out of it or reverse warrior. Exhaling, as you windmill the hands back down to your warrior two. Inhale, briefly rocking up out of it, your choice. And exhaling as we sink down. We spend a lot of time through the hips, really always well received with most sporty folk. Either the hips are overworked or they're underused. So whilst we're in this warrior two and you're staying here for a few breaths, notice how with each exhale you might be able to sink a little deeper. Watch that bum want to arch back, try keep it in neutral. Watch the knee really want to rock inwards, remember. Try draw the knee back. Brilliantly done. Windmilling both hands to the front of your mat, stepping the back leg back into your strong plank. Lowering to halfway and shift forward for that upward dog, or visit your Sphinx, mini cobra, or upward dog, seal pose. Nicely done. All looks good. Drawing the abs in, down dog. Before taking those feet hip width or so apart, and gently rolling onto the outside of the right foot, the inside of the left foot. Inhaling as you come back into center, and exhaling as you roll the other way. Inhaling through that neutral. Exhaling, keep the hips high as you roll onto the outside of the right. Back through neutral and the outside of the left. One more time each side. Out onto the right. And out onto the left. Before coming back into center and walking those hands back towards your feet, rolling yourself up, vertebra by vertebra, shifting all that weight into that right leg, big high knee lift, stepping that left leg to the front of your mat. So it's quite a long stride, it'll almost be your full body length if you were lying down on the ground. Spin the back foot out. The heel's a little closer towards the back end of the mat. Tall through the spine as you exhale, sinking down towards the floor. Inhale, press yourself up out of it, reverse warrior if you wish. And exhale as you visit it again. Inhale, just pressing yourself up and out of the pose, maybe a straightened leg. And exhale, visiting your third pose. Inhale, back up out of it. Exhaling, sinking down towards your warrior two. Watch out, this side especially, I can feel my bum really want to arch back to make the space for the inner groin. That means I just gently have to come a little higher out of the pose so I can keep the pelvis neutral. It'll only take a few exhales for the body to calm, the inner groins to calm, and for you to gently find a new depth to the pose. Brilliantly done. Remember that little gaze past the knee and you'll see that big toe. Before windmilling both hands back to the mat. And as the hands are here and we step that left foot back just a little to be able to bring the knee behind the wrist. Without the knee moving, remember that's our really important one as we visit our version of our pigeon pose. Without the knee moving, gently drawing the shin inwards. The angle of the shin doesn't truly matter. It could be here parallel with the top end of your mat, or it could literally be straight underneath the thigh. Ideally, keeping that knee where it began, behind the wrist. Then walk the back leg away a little. And we'll finish off our gliding through the hips with our pigeon, not pigeon. As you inhale, it's a gentle rock of the bum away from the mat. And as you exhale, you sink that right hip down towards the ground. Inhaling, a gentle rock away from the floor again. And exhaling, close that hip back down towards the floor. Inhaling, gentle rock away. And exhale, maybe sending the chest and the head a little closer towards the ground. Last one, as you inhale, rock away. Exhale, pelvis to the floor. As you stay here for a few breaths, just try whether you're up and out of the pose on the forearms or the hands, or stacking the head to those fists. You'll notice this is a position where you could get you can almost switch off a little. As your third or fourth exhale goes by, just gently try walk those back toes away a little, or maybe sink that right hip a little closer towards the floor. Always an active engagement through the body on these sessions. Before walking those hands back into center. And as you straighten that left leg underneath you, bringing the right knee behind your right wrist, walking the left leg away from you. Remember, as you draw the shin inwards, try not to let the knee move from where it started. Then walk that left leg back and away from you, and exhaling as you sink towards the floor. Inhale, a little rock up and out of the pose. You'll definitely see different side to side. Exhaling as you sink the hips towards the floor. Inhale, little rock up and out of it. And exhale as you dip back down to it. Inhale, little rock out of it. Final one, exhale, back into it. So this type of session, amazing for our inner groins, our hamstrings, our outer hips, our front hip flexors. And you'll see when we come to session 5, session 6, and we start to throw in some fairly dynamic yoga or some power yoga, you'll really see the value that we've visited the full range through the hips here. As you allow the head and the chest to drop towards the floor, maybe walking those fingertips away from the toes. Before pressing yourself up and out of it, rolling onto the outside of that right bum cheek. And as you swoop both legs to the front end of your mat, gently rock yourself up a little so you can come onto the tops of the sitting bones. Very often, most people involved in sport, the hands to the side here will be enough through the back of the legs as the body is vertical. So if you're happy there with the hands to the mat, your aim is going to be, as you exhale, gently hinge the chest towards the toes. And as you inhale, rock up out of it. And if you're comfortable through the back of the legs to that point, feel free as you exhale to gently draw onto the shins. Inhale, back up out of it. Exhaling as you hinge at the hips. We're keeping a fairly neutral spine this time. Usually we articulate the spine. Here we're accessing the hamstrings more than anything. We'll do it twice more as there is. Hinging at the hips, keep the spine long as you fold towards the toes. Last one, hands to the sides, completely fine. As you exhale, little hinge. You might notice the quads contract. You might notice a little shake through the thighs. Little release out of the pose. One last time. And then on your next few exhales, feel free to fold the spine completely. As you flex through that spine, just like your roll downs. As you walk the hands down your thighs, down your shins perhaps. And with each exhale, you're just gently exploring your new 7 out of 10. The back should feel quite comfortable and quite at ease with the forward fold. Just needed to do a little intro. Remember, this is a great one where the straps really help. Just lengthen your arms around the feet. Before rolling through that spine back up to standing, little scoot of that bottom towards the heels, little wrap around those knees as you draw that chin in towards your chest and roll back down on to your back. As you drop the feet to the floor just by your bottom, maybe hip width or so apart. Our final glide through the body. As you exhale, just let both knees roll to the right. Inhale as you scoot the knees back to center. Exhale as you roll to the left. Twice more each side, inhaling through the middle and exhaling, soften the belly, relax that lower hip guard. Windscreen wipering those knees through the middle and back over to the left. Before your final 2 visits, you might want to bring the knees and the feet together and exhaling as you roll to the right. A little wriggle through the hips, a little shuffle through the shoulders. Before rolling through neutral and exhaling to your left. So a lot of motion tonight, not huge dynamic movements, just subtle articulations through your body. And as you come back to center and walk those legs out away from you, you'll have already had about 50 minutes of conscious breath work, which is pretty awesome. Really, really undervalued. As you wriggle through your body and find your best position of comfort. Remember to lengthen that neck with a little lift of the head away from the floor maybe, and a reach back to the wall behind you. Remember a little roll of those feet side to side, or a jiggle through the hips as they are allowed to settle in their natural resting position. Most of that session was a balanced breath. The timing was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1 through most of those glides. So we're going to evolve that breath. We're going to keep it balanced. and equal, but we're just going to lengthen the count a little. We're just going to slow the inhale and the exhale a little. So if you've completely let go of the neck and the shoulders, you'll probably observe quite a weight of the head into the floor. And if you've completely let go of that guard in the hips and the lower back, you'll probably feel quite heavy through the legs into the ground. And as you soften that belly completely, we're going to inhale through the nose in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, belly rise, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, belly falls, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Soft shoulders. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last couple of rounds. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your breath is your breath. Keeping your eyes closed, keeping your body soft. As always, remain in Shavasana if you wish, for as long as you wish. Or bring a little awareness back to your limbs. A little wriggle through those fingertips and toes. reach up above the head, maybe, or possibly hugging both arms across your body. A little scoot of the heels up towards your bum. And you might like the knees to roll away from each other. And to enable some blood flow to circulate safely, we always recommend rolling onto the right hand side. Before, in your own time, pressing yourself up into seated. Namaste.